Hello, Aries. How are you, my little fireflies? There, now I have a new one for Aries. Oh, I like that. I'm slowly developing a little nicknames for all of my signs. So Aquarius is my aqua babies, and Pisces are my piscuses. That's because my son, when he first saw the word, he said, "What's a piscus?" Okay. So Aries, now you're my little fireflies. That's what I called you, right? Little fireflies. Taurus, I need a better one for Taurus. I call them my sweet bovines, but I should call them my Netflix and chills. Gemini, I don't have one for Gemini. Oh, my gems. I think I call them gems. Cancerians, I don't know. Who else? Oh yeah, Virgo is sexy Virgo. Leo are my pussycats. And everyone here is like, because this is an Aries piece, and they're like, we don't care. The other one's Cindy. It's just Aries. We know what ours is. That's all we need to know. Okay, so we're doing blind spot this weekend. That's what we're doing. We're doing blind spot. What's in Aries blind spot? What's in the fireflies blind spot? What's in a blind spot? Which means it's something that's coming up behind you. If you don't see it, you're not aware. But it's getting close because it's in the blind spot. Contract. Oh, God. Doesn't look like fun. Okay, there we go. But maybe it's balance. It could be balance. See what it is. It was Libra. Was it Libra? Someone was getting a lot of those, or something. Someone was going through contract. Oh my gosh. It's funny. You know, the scales of justice. There's two. There's two sides to that scale. And the bottom card, whoops, is indecision. The bottom card is indecision. And everything is falling down here. All right, let me put these up. That's interesting. All right, so let's see. We're going to go into the Good Tarot and get a little bit more information about this contract and indecision. I'm going to tell you what I feel. I feel like there's some sort of choices. Oh, wow. Oh, that's nice. Something really nice sitting behind the indecision. Ooh, see, there's a reason I picked that up. Okay, so let's just wait. It's worth the wait. The indecision here. I'm feeling like there's choices that you have to make. You have to weigh the pros and the cons. You know, and that's kind of what that's all about. But do it. You're being advised with these cards coming up. If this is like the Justice card, this contract card too. There could be some legal things here, but keep in mind as this is coming up into your blind spot, there's an opportunity for you to do whatever this is in a very fair way. Right? To do this in a very fair way. So indecision. So these are going to be some of the choices. But look what sits behind it. Cornucopia. That's nice. And it's a 1-1. So it kind of tells me you're going to be on your path. Once you make the choices and the decisions, then you're going to be on your path to abundance. There we go. There's always a silver lining. I do like silver lining. What the hell's the point otherwise? There's always, because there is one. There really is one. The 10, look, the 10 of Earth, like the 10 of Pentacles. Yeah, she's sitting there with a chest of gold and her wolf. I have a wolf over. See my fat little white wolf? There she is. Oh, there. She needs a bath. That's what I need to do. I need to give the dog a bath. The 8 of Air. Oh, I don't know. People have said you're not holding them up long enough. Here, you got that? You see it? All right. I've been trying to exercise my shoulders so I have enough stamina to hold the cards up long. Guys, see what I do for you? Well, I kind of do it for me too, because I was eating too many cookies and drinking too much wine. So I've turned that around, just in case you were wondering. It's so many, so many. Okay. The 6 of Water, which is like the 6 of Cups. It's like she's got a tummy ache. She says it literally looks like she's got a tummy ache. But her reflection, wasn't that interesting? Her reflection is different from what her pose is. The person, oh, I gotta stand up. Look, okay, see the reflection? She's got her hand here by her tummy. But here her hands are more like up just under her chin, almost like in a prayer or a hopeful. We're going to go into that. That's the first time I pulled that card out in this deck. The Nine of Fire. Ooh, the King of Fire. Oh, I like that. I like the order of that, right? The Nine of Fire is usually kind of being at your end. Being ready to just release something, the finalization. And then after that is the King of Fire. There you are in all your power and glory. Dang, 3 kings. I did not see that. The King of Earth and the King of Air. Everybody but the King of Cups showed up to this party. Wow. I did not see this reading coming for you. Oh, temptation is at the bottom. Who had that? I know this is the same day that Aquarius and Pisces come out, but I'm recording Aries. I was tired by the end of that day. I was like, no, it's getting late. So I'm doing Aries on a different day, but it's coming out the same day. It doesn't really matter. I think it was Aquarius had the temptation. I've written down. I think so. Yeah, because they are the Empress. They are the Empress energy. Anyway, oh, sorry. I'm sorry, I'm in my own little world. That's my happy place. I like my own little world. Oh my God, my own little world is the best place ever. Do you guys have your own little world? Own little world. I was not. Okay, so this is proof that you don't have to be scholarly to be successful in life. I was always staring out the window in school. It was like just oh my God, it's just monotonous to me. Boring. I don't know. I like it now that I'm older, but as a kid I just wanted to go outside and run around and have a lot of fun. And I used to spend up with my grandfather. I used to go up there, and there was a farm across the road, and I would wander into the field, and I would see how long it would take me to sit with the cows until they would feel comfortable to come up to me and just sit around me. And like, see, that was fun for me. And that was my own little world. So that's where I'm coming here. Why did we have your own little world? Oh, I was in my own little world, and I'm still there for you. But this is gonna come around in the reading. I know it is, and it always does that. This is how my mind works. So when I was in a place that I found really boring and not very stimulating, I would go into my own little world. And then I would hang out there for a little while until someone said, Cindy, do you know the answer? I'm like, what? I don't know. I have no idea. What were you asking? What were you talking about? See, you can be in your own little world. It's I find the world today is not the most, but I think it's changing. Like the creative mind is a very different way of working, and the world is very like scientific. Which is okay, we need that too, but anyway. The temptation, yeah, because I was trying to remember who had that. Because I haven't, the reason I'm saying that is because okay, no. The reason that I'm saying that is because this card, as well as this one, have almost never come out for me. I mean, I'm still new at this deck, but there's a lot of cards that have been coming out like repeats since I've started using this deck. This for your reading is the first time I've ever pulled this card. This is the first time I ever pulled it I think it was Aquarius's reading. So this is the second time. It's kind of interesting that we have a first and a first for you too. I'm going to go into the Lightseer's Tarot. I'm going to put a tarot underneath each one of these to get a little more information, because this is quite intriguing. To have 3 kings, it's a very strong energy. I mean, you're sitting here, but then there's the King of Earth and the King of Air. That's a lot of cards. What's coming out like right now? There's some sort of decisions that you're making. The decisions that you're making are leading to cornucopia, which is really, really abundant energy. It's kind of like, I want to say the Sun card, like it's a wish fulfillment. And with this 10 of Earth, that's your home foundation. This is your home foundation. So very solid, very grounded. See how I did that? You can be up in the air and you can come back down again. And then the 8 of Air though, look at that. See the 8 of Air. So, you know, when I get this card, sometimes I feel like you're kind of being watched, you're being guided, you're being protected. Things happen for a reason because I'm channeling. I was like all over the place, right? A minute ago, and now I'm like right here, right in your reading. And I'm feeling like that's what these two are. The Ten of Pentacles and the Eight of Air. This is really, really grounded. This is your three-dimensional, your life, your existence. This is what you got going on, and this is how you're keeping it together. But this is being in the clouds. It's a good place to go. It's a good place to go, right? Because if this gets boring, you can go here. I'm getting kind of that energy, but yet, then we meet the Six of Water. It's so weird. Like, I think it's strange the way she's holding her stomach to me. The depiction is weird. It's almost like I'm gonna say it looks like she wants to puke. That's what I get looking at this. It really looks like she wants to puke, like she wants to throw up. And when I say that, I'm feeling like a purge. There's something here that's being purged. And it's almost like because you have this really grounded energy of the Ten of Earth, and then you have this Eight of Air, like up in the air in the clouds with the angels. You're not in your energy. Neither one of those are your energy because you're fire. You're fire. You're an initiator. You're the spark of life. You are, not to say other people don't have a spark of life. I did not mean that at all. Everybody has a good spark. But you're definitely the one to, you know, push a few buttons, light a few fires, get it going. Like, come on, let's go, let's go, let's go. You know, it's like this being very, very grounded, being very, very whimsical. It comes to a point where you need to purge. You need to purge. And I don't know what's going on with this, but that might have, ooh, sorry. I'm just watching there. There was two kids riding their bike and then the UPS guy was coming around, but he was very careful, so that was good. He was very careful. But I was worried for a minute because they were all coming to an intersection at the same time. So there's something that needs to purge. Like this is three-dimensional stuff. It's a contract, so it's probably something in your life, in the now, in the present. It can be so many different things for so many different people too. Like you've got to take that as it resonates. It could be a work contract. It could be a marriage contract. It could be anything you write a contract for. It could be like a landscaper, like, you know, and you need to make a lot of decisions, and maybe you're in your head about it. How creative do I want this water feature to be? Or, you know, and there's that element, and then thinking, well, if I sell the house, is anyone else going to like that? So I should kind of think, you know, like there's a lot of different ways that you can apply what's coming in this reading, but at some point, something needs to get purged here. It's almost like you're existing in these two different energies to get yourself through a point. And I think once you make whatever these decisions are, then you go into the cornucopia. Because this is the final straw. But yet, this is a really beautiful Nine of Fire. It's a beautiful way to be at the final straw. The Six of Water is usually the Six of Cups, like a soulmate card, but it's interesting how the person in the reflection, you know, it's got a different position. You're probably going through, well, obviously, whatever this contract is, it's not really a contract with yourself. But I don't know if you three-dimensionally can do that. You make a contract for yourself. I guess you could. You could make promises to yourself and put it in writing. I don't really think you can legally hold yourself to anything. I guess you could. But it feels like it's probably with someone else. And there's different elements of how each of you feel through what you're going through. One of you might have to purge something. The other one might have to like really hang on tight and see where this goes. But this Nine of Fire takes you right into the purging. Once you purge this, whatever this is, whatever's sitting heavy for you, whatever feels like you're up and down. And I feel it like your reading is really, like, it's really crazy up and down. It's this Nine of Fire, and that's kind of like the final straw. This is the ending of it here. But look at how pretty that is with these little firefly-like things. Isn't that funny? I just said that. The little firefly-like things coming off of these stars. Finally being able to light your way and to follow your path, maybe, right? And to follow your path into your own energy. The sun sits behind this king of fire. His heart is lit up. The sun sits behind him. So he's really harnessing the energy that universe has got there for him or her. And the star, that's just very symbolic too, because the star in just the regular tarot, like the star card, represents to me being in a very balanced and holistic energy, which probably not right now with the 10 of earth and the 8 of air going into puke stage, right? Probably not. But once you do get into that very balanced and holistic energy, now is the opportunity to make a wish. Now is the opportunity to communicate with the universe, to manifest things that are very high vibrational, because now you meet that vibrational energy. And then to me, once you do that, then that empowers you to move into the sun wishes, which is wish fulfillment. And that sits behind this king of fire. Oh, I haven't even pulled out the other card yet. These two are interesting. Well, aren't they interesting? Of course, now I see it. Over here we had the 10 of earth and the 8 of air. And it just felt imbalanced because the card coming in after that was like, puke. This is mastering those elements, right? This is totally mastering those two elements. The king of earth and the king of air. It's mastering them. Mastering being grounded, mastering allowing your mind to expand and grow and to communicate and to follow your truth. Mastering, I want to say like the king of earth, the king of pentacles, mastering your finances, mastering your career, mastering what it is that you do in your three-dimensional life, but then mastering how you think about that too. So let's see. Let's see what these cards produce for us. The temptation one, we got to look into that. It seems like something, it is coming in as the underline for like all these cards that we just discussed. But I don't feel it tying into the story yet. So the wheel card is sitting underneath the 10 of earth, which is interesting because, well, the wheel or wheel of fortune. The wheel is number 10 as well. That's a completion of a cycle and moving into another cycle. And with the wheel, it's very releasing to what the universe strangely kind of has to offer to you. Sort of destined experiences and connections, and just seeing where it goes. Oh, interesting. So the 6 of swords is sitting under the 6 of water. You know, and it felt like almost something needs to be purged. I don't necessarily mean you're going to start puking, but something just needs to be purged here to start following, you know, where you feel you need to guide yourself, where you feel is a better direction. Wow, the 9 of wands is sitting under the 9 of fire. I'm kind of feeling like I've already said what I needed to say about some of these cards. The fool is sitting under the king of fire. The fool is the Aries card. How crazy is this? So what do we get for the king of earth? Well, interesting. The king of earth is the page of swords. And what is the king of air? But the ace of swords. Oh, that's where it gets interesting. The bottom is the Ace of Cups. Now I see how that might be tying into the Temptation card. I didn't show you, underneath the Eight of Air is the Five of Cups. Disappointment. And then again, this is feeling very much like sort of being looked over, being watched from above, sitting in some sort of energy that is very disappointing. Didn't work out. But kind of, you know, with this Five of Cups, she has the strength to recognize when something isn't for her or him, and allowing it to go down the universal drain. Like flushing it down the drain. The Purge. I really get it. Like, everything is very, very clear here until we get to these two other kings, the King of Earth and the King of Air. So as we're going, like, your energy is about to come into a balance. So to really simplify all the information that's been coming through really quickly for me in this reading, your energy is about to come into a balance after being like kind of up and down, grounded and in the air. But it comes into a balance after like a purge. There's some sort of purge here. It could be an emotional purge. It could be a physical purge too. Like maybe you just need to run yourself to exhaustion, or you need to I don't know, like just something like that, like physically. I'm trying to think too for Aries, like a physical thing, because Aries is very physical. But after the purge, you've got these two nines here, and that is really like nines in the tarot for me are about completion, seeing the truth finally, because once you do that, then you drop what's not your truth. You drop what isn't for you. So that's very evident here. They're both sitting together. After the purge, you see the truth. And then you go right into your energy, like very strongly. You couldn't do it any more strong unless the Emperor card came out. But like the King of Fire and the Fool card, you know, kind of being older and wiser too. All of the kings in this deck are depicted as quite a bit older, but it's just the age, kind of the experience that we gain through life and through everything that we do experience. With the Fool, though, this is a really good reminder about keeping that zest for life, keeping that spark, that childlike energy, you know, within this King of Fire. And that is very evident in really the fire signs, is always having sort of that childlike energy, that zest for life, that let's have cookies and ice cream for dinner. Not the best choice, but you know, it's fun sometimes. And again, it is the release into this Wheel card and the Fool. You know, reminding me of just how they're both like just releasing to the process, releasing to the experience. I'm just going to see where the universe is going to take me on this ride. And then the King of Earth and the King of Air. I feel that these two kings are speaking of these other elements that were imbalanced in the past. The King of Air perhaps was more balanced for you. Your imagination, your intellect, your intuition, your thinking process, because it leaps into an Ace of Swords with this King of Air or Swords. And that is really, like, she's getting a message, like, stuff is just beaming in there. Like, really connected to universal knowledge, really connected to your truth, really connected to the experience and seeing and understanding and knowing without even necessarily physically seeing. But this King of Earth is very, like, this is a whole new, because it's starting with a Page of Swords. And, you know, they're holding a book and they have all these bright little ideas. And it's kind of taking all those bright little ideas and making them three-dimensional. So this is where it's really this young energy that really needs to, it doesn't need to. It's on the path of growing and developing. Turning this very much into a more three-dimensional experience, everything that goes on, like in your mind and your imagination. Let's do some clarifiers, shall we? I'm going to clarify the Temptation card. Clarify the Temptation card for Aries. Clarify the Temptation card for Aries. So here it is. Take a look at it. It would be, I want to say, like in a regular tarot deck, the Devil card. But there's nothing really binding this person to anything. They've chewed a heart into this, a heart shape into this apple. There's a chest of gold here, but yet the person kind of sits in, you know, like energy. You know, it's not very fulfilling. We're just being distracted by some other thought in their mind or idea that pulls them away from, you know, what they actually have. Because this person is sitting in quite a bit of abundance. I mean, that's a big apple. You know, you could eat off that apple for a while. And then there's new little apples that are coming into to harvest season right above her. But then there's all this chest of gold. Like, there's so much all around, not seeing it, right? Not seeing it because it's sitting behind this indecision, the cornucopia card. It feels like that person is in like a bit of a cornucopia. Maybe physically there's this abundance, but the spiritual and intellect, there isn't. And that's where the disappointment is coming in. So the three cards that came out with Temptation are the Seven of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. Yeah, there is definitely a need to reassess how you've been going forward. And I want to say, with whatever this indecision has been about, there's divine timing here in play. But it's leading you to victory as long as you stick to your truth and your ideal for yourself. It is leading you there. I want to say, too, with the Queen of Swords coming in after the Six of Wands, the concept of something needs to be like cut out for victory, that may also be coming in as reassess it. The Ace of Cups that's sitting underneath the other tarot deck, the Ace of Cups, wow, is the Nine of Cups. I could take that two ways, because the Nine of Cups is a very independent, self-sufficient happiness and joy and fulfillment. I also call it, you know, the universe is saying your wish is my command, because you've managed to get into that energy. It's very similar to the star energy, where you can manifest really great things and you're sort of connecting to source because you're vibrating at that level. And when you try to manifest, you bring in good things. Now this Ten of Cups, well, isn't that interesting? Wait till you see what's sitting underneath this. So that Ten of Cups could be created with another cup. That is the potential here. What's interesting is what's sitting underneath this Ace of Cups is the King of Cups. Now, there's every king is out in this reading. There's every king. So the King of Cups is sitting behind this Ace of Cups. This can also be like something that you are about to produce or create, which will make real happiness, not even just for yourself, but for others, with this other cup coming in. Let's see. Let's see. I want to clarify these two. Let's see. Let's see what comes out for these two. This King of Air and the Ace of Swords. This King of Air and the Ace of Swords. The King of Air with the Ace of Swords. Look at that. It's the Ten of Cups. That's so funny, isn't it? There you go. So there might even be something coming in from an outside source that brings in this happiness. Like I said, it's like you can make, you will create something that does not just make you happy, but it adds to someone else's happiness. Here's the King of Earth and the Page of Swords. Wow, the Five of Swords and the World card. Definitely walking away from some almost earthbound energy, or the concept of this earthbound energy, because we do have the Page, which is new. It's trying to, it's experiencing life on this level in a whole new way. And the World is a big cycle coming in, like a very big cycle. And I would feel that for this King of Earth energy. So I hope you guys are kind of getting this. Like, I know there's a lot of elements, like the air and the swords are really about how you're thinking and perceiving and imagining your life, you know, going into your happy place. What is your happy place? Because, see, it's coming around again. I knew it would. Creating that happy place in your mind, how do you do that three-dimensionally? And that's what the earth is all about. That's what Earth and Pentacles are about. Like creating that three-dimensionally here in the experience now. And that's what has this new young energy, and it walking away from how you perceived it in the past and creating a new cycle. So that, I see how that's coming around now. It's everything, you're going through some sort of change here where once you've purged, you've realized your truth. You've truly, truly gone into who you are and what your energy is. You're going to go into a cycle in your life where you, things that you imagine and hope for and perceive for yourself can actually become the truth, can actually become a reality. So that's some pretty interesting reading. And look at the bottom. The bottom is the Fool card, Aries. There you go. Ready to go. Ready to take that leap of faith. Don't, you know, with this Fool card, the wheel is underneath the Wheel of Fortune over here. With this Fool card and sitting under the King of Fire as well, it's just an important reminder that anything that you go through in life, and as we get older and older through this whole adulthood game of life, it's important that things that haven't worked out in the past, or things that, you know, have had to end, whatever it is on any element of your life, to see it for what it was, to see you for what you were in it, and to see others for what they were in it, truly. But to not let that experience, if there's been anything difficult or painful or hurtful in it, to not let that experience take away this energy. Because this is that creative spark that is Aries, right? This is going out and finding new things and expressing new ideas and taking leaps of faith to see where you go. But now, you know, those leaps of faith aren't as dangerous or hazardous as they may have been in the past because you have more experience now. So there you go. I think that's what I got. That's what I got for you. This is quite an interesting reading. A lot. I'm telling you, like, a lot of energy really came in with this reading. I know I was probably talking really fast, but I was trying to keep up with everything that was going on. So it was quite a bit. So there you go. That's it. That's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Good luck with the purge. It gets better after, so don't worry. Until next time, do be gentle with yourselves. Bye.